If we look through my library by game time, we'll find an interesting but perhaps not so unique trend. The vast majority of my gaming is in competitive multiplayer games. I haven't played Dota 2 in over 2 years now, but I still managed to spend 85 days worth of time in this game over 3 years. That's almost an entire month of this game open for every year I played it. I don't think there's anything wrong with competitive games, up to a point at least, but it's very easy for me to ignore other needs and wants in order to keep ranking up in Overwatch or whatever the flavor of the month is. So what exactly is it about competitive multiplayer games that keeps me and millions of other players hooked? The drive to get better and to climb the ranks is what keeps me going. And to really improve at a competitive game, there are two skill sets that need to be mastered: theory and performance. Theory is your cumulative knowledge of the game. It's your understanding of how all the opposing mechanics work together, as well as your ability to strategize and adapt. What I appreciate about Overwatch is how concise the mechanics and rules for the game are. There's enough that's unique about the game to differentiate it vastly from most other FPS games, but it's not overwhelming. Teams are comprised of 3 categories of characters: damage, tank, and support. Damage heroes prioritize attacking the other team, tanks focus on protecting the team from any incoming damage, and supports heal the team from damage taken. But to break it down further, each character has their own unique playstyle, even within these categories. Let's take damage characters for example. Some characters have extra mobility movesets that allows them to move quicker or to cross gaps that others can't. Different maps take advantage of space in unique ways, making some heroes more favored on particular maps. King's Row, for example, has a lot of vertical space, making characters that can scale walls more effective. Some mobility heroes even have abilities to get them out of trouble quickly, allowing them to dive into the enemy and then jump back to safety. Characters can deal different kinds of damage too. Characters like McCree or Ashe use hit scan attacks where their bullets land instantly, making them effective for precision aiming. Some characters launch explosive projectiles that are less precise, but deal damage in an area. Others are only effective in close range. Some characters even act as a hybrid between classes. Soldier 76 can put down an area of effect heal for his team, like a support would, and Symmetra can place a shield to stop enemy attacks, like a tank can. The basic ideas of theory can often be transferred over to different games. Understanding that characters have different roles and can interact with the game in a unique way is something shared between almost any game where you select your character. Where theory relies on understanding how all these different mechanics interact in order to complement you or your team and to beat the enemy, performance then is putting it all into action. Performance is the moment-to-moment things you do. It's knowing your role in the team and using your abilities at the right time. It's being accurate with your weapon and not getting killed in battle. Like theory, some of the skills of performance work across games. First-person shooters usually have the same basic control scheme, but that's not to say that all games are the same. Little nuances such as instantly turning around in League of Legends versus the characters actually taking time to turn in Dota 2 can make a huge difference in how a game plays and feels, in turn sometimes forcing players to vastly change their playstyle. Performance is heavily influenced by your accumulated knowledge of theory, but over time, performance and interactions with the game will influence your understanding of theory too. Someday, I will learn that it's a bad idea to take on a big fat roadhog when I am a weak and squishy support. Even if you memorize all the stats and are a star player at everything you do, you can't get too comfortable because, inevitably, updates will come to rebalance the game. These changes can make new characters or playstyles viable, and old ones non-competitive. With old characters coming out, and new characters being released routinely, a game can radically change overnight, forcing the player base to unlearn and relearn how to play parts of the game. That's not to say these changes are bad. Updates can help freshen up a competitive scene when there's a strict way to victory, or the game is beginning to get stale. Releasing patch notes for upcoming updates is a great way to get players excited about the game again, but too big of a change can be a turnoff. Dota 2, for example, has over 110 characters to choose from that each have 4 unique abilities on average, as well as several talents that further diversify their playstyle. That's a lot of different mechanics to balance with each other, and so the game gets updates every few months to rework characters as a result. There's also a huge update every year or so that adds new characters and can drastically change how existing characters play. The patch notes for these massive updates can take over an hour just to even read. As exciting as it was to see the game change so much, it was also very daunting. Even after spending over 2,000 hours in the game, I can hardly say I've mastered anything because of the constant changes. And if I tried to pick up the game again, it would be much different than how I remember it. One day I realized the game asked for too much of my time to not even improve, and so I quit. And then I played Heroes of the Storm for a month. And then I quit MOBAs for good, I hope. None of this video is meant to say that you have to be a master at a game before you should consider playing competitively. Games are meant to be enjoyed, and anxiety shouldn't stop you from playing the game at a higher level. I enjoy the competition so much because I'm asked to do my best and to think more critically about how I can improve at the game. Sometimes I fail that, and sometimes the team fails me, but I can always just play another match and get that rank back. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you giving me your time. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up or subscribing, and the comment box is always open for discussion. Thanks again, and have a great day.